A Mother's Reckoning, Living in the Aftermath of Tragedy is a memoir published in 2016 by Sue Klebold, an American author and the mother of Dylan Klebold, one of the two shooters responsible for the Columbine High School massacre in 1999, where 13 students and teachers lost their lives. In her memoir, Sue Klebold reflects on her son's troubled childhood and adolescence, expressing regret for not recognizing the signs of severe depression he was experiencing. She also shares her experiences of grief and the challenges she faced when thrust into the public spotlight after the tragedy. The book delves into the family and social life of a school shooter, raising important questions about the role of community and socialization in preventing acts of violence. Throughout the narrative, Klebold presents various memories from before and after the Columbine shooting, providing context for her unique perspective as the mother of one of the shooters. Sue Klebold uses her memoir to push back against the media's portrayal of her son and her family. She argues that there were no specific or troubling factors in Dylan's family life that could be pointed to as the sole cause of his criminal act. Instead, she highlights that Dylan suffered from undiagnosed clinical depression, a condition shared by many teenagers and adults. She criticizes the mass media for portraying Dylan as a monstrous figure and emphasizes the importance of not stigmatizing mental illness based on isolated incidents. In addition to exploring the factors leading up to the tragedy, Sue Klebold shares the agony and shame she experienced in the aftermath of Columbine, a burden she carried for many years. Through her memoir, she hopes to provide insight into the complex emotions and struggles faced by those affected by such devastating events. While showing compassion for the victims and their loved ones, Sue Klebold, in her memoir A Mother's Reckoning, Living in the Aftermath of Tragedy, criticizes the media for distorting her son's background and exploiting the victim's suffering to create sensational headlines. She emphasizes the normalcy of her family while acknowledging that she and her husband failed to recognize the clear signs of severe depressive disorder in her son, Dylan, before the tragic massacre. After the shooting, as investigators delved into Dylan's private life, particularly his online activity, Sue gained new and shocking insights into her son's bizarre behavior patterns. This led her to create a separate persona for Dylan in her mind, distinct from the son she thought she knew and raised. Throughout her grieving process, she found herself mourning the deaths of two very different sons. This experience deepened her understanding of how depression can profoundly affect the human mind, leading individuals to commit unimaginable crimes. To heal from the trauma, Sue had to reconcile her memories of the son she raised with the one that investigators revealed through evidence about his private life. A Mother's Reckoning challenges readers to critically examine how society discusses gun violence, mass murder, suicide, and depression. Sue attempts to humanize her son's story without diminishing his accountability for the heinous crime he committed. In her memoir, Sue Klebold also offers a broad critique of the media's role in perpetuating mass murder and hindering progress in discussing mental illness by portraying murderers as one-dimensional monsters. Her ultimate hope is that her son's story will contribute to research and education about mental illness and work towards eradicating the stigma surrounding it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.